our acts. The sea can be deep for our diving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. So, the theme song is written by my niece, and oh shit, she sent me another song. I wanted to listen to it. And I just noticed there at the end there. I never noticed this before, but at the end she goes, "Whew." Just now noticed that on the recording. So, all right. My hair is out of control. I need a haircut just to even it out. Anyway, we'll be talking about the antidote to fear. My antidote to fear is courage, but I mean, how do we get there? What do we do? I mean, what steps can we take? Is there an awareness here? There's a lot of different questions that we can ask ourselves when we wake up in the morning. Number one question is going to be, what is our attitude going to be today, and how are we going to present ourselves to the world? Are we going to be jerks? I'm going to be a jerk today. I kind of started off with a bad attitude, and I started telling myself, "No, Dion, today's a good day. Okay, not today's not going to be a bad day." See, can you hear the? See, when we talk to ourselves, we've got to be careful on how we say things, or what we may do is predict the future. Okay. A great example of this is, have you ever been looking for something but you can't find it? Right? Your car keys, your phone, your sunglasses, something important. Your phone. We'll call it. We'll say your phone. Right? Here's my phone. Right? It's sitting right here. That wasn't supposed to happen. Sorry. I hit a button. That's what happens when you do this. If you hit the wrong button, right? So let's say I'm looking for my phone, but I can't find my phone because I keep telling myself I can't find my phone. Okay. And it was sitting here the whole time. But I told myself that I couldn't see it. So I didn't. Right. So when we talk about things like affirmations, she's on her kid's tour. She could only text with this. This world is crazy, man. And all its little rules, and man, I don't get it. I got something from the courts today. It makes no sense. They sent me my old divorce papers. I don't get it. I think my ex-wife is changing her name. Good for her, man. That doesn't bother me. She should take on her father's name if that's what she wants to do, man. I didn't understand why she kept my last name, but that's her choice. So What we say, how we say matters. Okay? I'm not sick. I'm not sick. I'm not sick. Guess what you're going to be? You're going to be sick. Because that's what you're telling yourself. But the not is in there. The not is redundant. In your brain, the not is redundant. I'm feeling well. I feel good. I feel good. I feel good. I feel well. I look good. And these are the things. Okay? Anytime you put a negative in a connotation in anything, that will be the result. Period. No matter how you say it. Weird. But it works. Welcome to Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. Wearing my Tuesday shirt. Things are looking good. Got in-person meetings today. We're going to have a lot of fun. If you're here, please say hello. Keep in mind that all of our meetings are hybrid. I do Zoom first. I like to keep track of mine. But I have some people backing me up. Amber. I know if Ingrid was here, I know that she would. So, Clint, you guys don't know Clint. He's a newer guy, but he's a cool dude. He's a good dude, man. Tyler, who's also a little bit new, but that's okay. These are the people that God had brought into my life. And these are the people that are going to be backing me. I don't care how much time they have. I'm not going to argue with God. Right? See, that's what's neat about the position I'm in. I don't get to decide a lot of these things. And that's okay. I very much enjoy not being God. I love it so much. I find it very freeing that I don't have to be in everybody else's shit all the time. Yeah. All right, there's some readings. There's some readings. I took this out of As Bill Sees It, and then we're going to be in the 12 by 12 on page 49. So, because I know Ingrid likes to follow along, even if she can only type once because she's on a toy. I love Ingrid's commitment. I love you so much, Ingrid. You crack me up. You become a really good friend of mine. All right. I'm going to read the part because it's split into two, and this part down here is from a letter. So I'd like to read it first before we get into the 12 by 12. As faith grows, so does inner security. And what is inner security? Self-esteem, man. Yeah. Okay. We all have self-esteem problems. I have a very big self-esteem problem. My self-esteem problem is connected to my emotional sobriety. It's almost one and the same on what I think people think of me. I had a talk with somebody yesterday, right? I care what people think about me. You bet I do. Sure. I care what my wife thinks. I care what you guys think. I care what people think about me. Sure. Because I wonder if I'm getting through to them. I'm not wondering if you like me or not. That's your choice. And I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, right? But still, I want to do everything that I can to make myself approachable. Okay. That's the one thing about me. People don't find me, I don't know why, because I find myself easily approachable, but not everybody feels that way. So when I see somebody struggling to approach me, you know what I'll do? I'll approach them. So what? Let's get rid of that fear. Okay. All right. The vast underlying fear of nothingness commences to subside. We of AA find that our basic antidote for fear is a spiritual awakening. Okay. And a spiritual awakening doesn't need to be huge. It doesn't need to be, it could just be an epiphany, a sudden thought that life is good. A sudden thought that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Those things. It doesn't need to be huge. It doesn't need to be huge. I'm finding that all of my, and I'm referring to Ingrid here. I'm finding that most of my alcoholism and my mental illnesses are all tied together, and they all kind of seem to be one and the same. One feeds the other, that does this, it does that. And that's what I've noticed, Ingrid. And I'm certainly not, because I think these doctors and stuff are a little too quick to be saying what we are. Okay, they told me I have ADHD. Okay, I see signs of it, but I'm also narcissist. I also have signs of narcissism. Okay, so those are tied together. Okay, and one feeds the other one. So you can't just focus on one, friends. That's the hard part. First, I have to decide, okay, is this PTSD, is this depression, or is this anxiety? Because they've given me those options. Okay, well, I have to think beyond that. Okay, because therapy doesn't involve something. It doesn't involve God. And it needs to. Okay, I talk about God quite often in my therapy. Okay, I don't know my therapist's religious dealings, and it doesn't matter. God is a part of my life, and it is a relationship like any other one. And I will discuss it with somebody else if I can make that relationship better. So I have found the answer to most of my problems, and it's love. It's love for me. Okay. Which is to say God and his perfection. And that hope keeps me striving. All right. On page 49. And I'm going to go back a paragraph so that this makes a little bit more sense. So I'm going to begin on the bottom of page 48. And Ingrid, I'm glad you agree with me on that, because I was kind of wondering, and yeah, it seemed it's all connected, which is great news. Which is great news, because it takes all of this and makes it manageable. See, for the last 2 weeks, everything in my life has been unmanageable. Today I woke up and it's starting to get back to manageable. Okay, so I'll tell you what I've done. Nothing. I didn't add anything on. I didn't remove anything. I did nothing. So I just needed the dust to settle, and it's settling. To avoid falling into confusion over the name of these defects should be called, let's take a universally recognized list of major human failings. The 7 deadly sins of pride, greed, lust, anger, gluttony, envy, and sloth. It is not by accident that pride heads the procession. For pride, leading to self-justification, and always spurred by the conscious or unconscious fear, is the basic breeder of most human difficulties. Yeah. I don't know. My niece, she's autistic. She loves me. She doesn't know how to show it. She doesn't express it, but she tells me she loves me, and I believe her. All right. When she gives me knuckles, I'm allowed to. That means that I'm allowed to go past her basic boundaries, and so for her, that is love. Okay. That's the way that I see it. And that is entirely my opinion. Okay. But in a way, I do see it. I do see it. But I believe everybody's capable of love. I think we're born. Yeah. So I think I think it's hard to say that without being autistic. How about that? But that one's hard for me to believe. So fear is the chief block of true progress, is what it says here. Okay, because pride is fear. That's what they're saying here? Pride is fear. Pride lures us into making demands upon ourselves or upon others which cannot be met without perverting or misusing our God-given instincts like love. Okay, I threw that last part in there. When the satisfaction of our instincts for sex, security, and society become our sole object of our lives, and pride steps in to justify our excesses. Oh, well, because of this, I can have this. That's what they're talking about, that self-justification to do something wrong. Let's just put it in plain English here. We're justifying our behavior, and our behavior was incorrect. All these failings generate fear, a soul sickness in its own right. I believe this. Fear is the basis of every single one of my resentments. If I take it down to the core, what I am is a very fearful person. And that includes my self-esteem. That includes inwardly. Okay? Then fear, in turn, generates more character defects. So our fears generate things like lust, anger, greed, gluttony, envy, sloth, pride. And that fear creates that so that we can justify our excesses of what we want, like alcohol. Or in our cases, okay, well, I'm just going to be honest. When we don't go for alcohol, we alcoholics go for either sex or money. Those seem to be one of the two. Okay, sometimes they'll take it out on food, but usually it's sex, because we seem to think that intimacy means connectiveness. And because of that, man, it jacked me up. All right. Unreasonable fear that our instincts will not be satisfied drives us to covet the possession of others, to lust for sex and power, to become angry when our instinctive demands are threatened, to be envious when the ambitions of others seem to be realized while ours are not. We eat, drink, and grab for more of everything than we need, fearing we shall never have enough. And with genuine alarm and prospect of work, we stay lazy. We loaf and procrastinate, or at best, we work grudgingly under half steam. These fears are termites that ceaselessly devour the foundations of whatever sort of life we try to build. So it's going to corrode away at it like a termite. Here we are back to the house again, right? So we lay our foundation, we get into the fourth step, but if we do not become thorough and honest about what it is that we are doing in our fear inventory, then those termites will stay. Okay? When people say, hey, I'm having surgery, pray for me. I'm not going to pray that you live. I'm going to pray for the courage for you to get through it. That's what I pray for. And I hope that's what you pray for me too. Okay? There's a saying that goes around that God won't give you more than you can handle, and it's just not true. Forget that exists. That is putting yourself in a box. You don't know how much you can handle. You don't know. God knows. So we don't know if God is giving us more than he can handle. I do know that God loves it when I reach out to his children for the answer, though. I know he loves that. And what is that? That is trust. And what is trust? Trust is courage. And what is the opposite of courage? Well, it's fear. So when AA suggests a fearless moral inventory, it must seem to every newcomer that more is being asked of him that he can do. Both his pride and fear beat him back every time he tries with it. Both his pride and his fear beat back every time he tries to look within himself. Pride says, you need not pass this way, and fear says, you dare not pass, you dare not look. But the testimony of AAs who have really tried a moral inventory is that pride and fear of this sort turn out to be boogeymen, nothing else. They're just boogeymen. What are boogeymen? They're made up things. A boogeyman is something that's made up. They don't exist. We create this in order to counter what it is that we think we need to counter, when what we need to do is just let it go. Right? Once a complete willingness to take inventory, complete willingness, there's that willingness word again, it's in every step, and exert to our job thoroughly a wonderful light it falls upon a foggy scene. As we persist, a brand new kind of confidence is born, and the sense of relief at finally facing ourselves is indescribable. These are the first fruits of step 4. This is usually where the eyes start to shine, is when somebody becomes relieved of the fear. That's when their eyes start to shine. Okay? The more I become free from everything that I put on myself, because I do it to myself, okay, and I give it to God, the more these will shine. Okay? Why? Because that is serenity. And when I'm serene, my eyes go bling. You can't help it. We call it that starry-eyed look. Remember Bill's story? Oh, he had that starry-eyed look, all right. What was he saying? His eyes were shining. Okay? There's hope. So when I say things like, I know they're not in the program because their eyes ain't shining, I'm talking about Facebook ads and stuff. All right. So that's our antidote, a fearless and moral inventory. All right. Thank you all for being here. It's 2:22. Love y'all. Peace out and have a day.